dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, and every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together, to stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children will be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, tears of thee. Sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true."
A very beautiful morning to you and welcome to Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM Onitsha this very beautiful Saturday morning. And remember, this Saturday is the 21st day in the month of July in the year 2025. Wherever you are listening to us from, whatever you may be doing, it's always a pleasure to welcome you on this very program. Remember, on this very platform, we speak the truth, we uphold the truth, we preserve the truth, we call a spade a spade. We can never call a spade by any other name. That's more reason we say nos dissected veritas, nos dissected reducing veritas, nos dissected vivica cabit veritas, nos dissected lingolum, and nos dissected controlling lingolum. You are welcome wherever you are listening to us from. If you are listening to us from New York, London, Tokyo, Germany, Accra, Ghana, China, Chicago, anywhere, not minding Johannesburg in South Africa. We have our friends who are in Italy watching from there. They are watching us live. Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, wherever you are watching from. For those of us who are also watching from Anambra State and also some parts of this country, Lagos, Abuja, Benin City, Port Harcourt, and so many places, we appreciate all of you. Remember what we do here. We try as much as we can to be objective and also to dissect issues we have this very morning. I must let you know that it's about 10 minutes down the hour of 9 o'clock this morning in Anambra State, the city of Onitsha. 10 minutes down the hour of 4 a.m. in New York, and also 10 minutes down the hour of 5 p.m. in Tokyo, Japan. 10 minutes down the hour of 10 a.m. in Germany, and also 10 minutes down the hour of 4 p.m. in China. 10 minutes down the hour of 8 p.m. in Auckland, Pacific. 40 minutes down the hour of 1 p.m. in Delhi, India, and also 10 minutes down the hour of 11 a.m. in Jerusalem. It's always a pleasure to welcome you. This is Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM this very beautiful morning here in the city of Onitsha. is Dr. Tony Olisa Mbeki, the Honorable Speaker. It's my pleasure to be here this very morning. And yesterday, I have to be here, and I have to be there, I have to be everywhere. And then anytime you see me, irrespective of where you see me, the greetings may differ, the time may differ. The most important thing is I'm here, and before you know it, I will be there. So that is the way it is. And this very morning, we've been looking at quite a lot of things this morning, but let me quickly introduce our guests. We have a guest. We're going to have two guests. Meanwhile, the first one, after the first one, we're going to have the second guest. But let me first introduce our first guest this very morning. I have in the studio with me Honorable Barrister Ifeanyi Mbanose, once local government candidate for Labour Party in 2013 and 2023, a businessman and also a legal practitioner. It's my pleasure to welcome you, Honorable Barrister Ifeanyi Mbanose. It's my pleasure to welcome you this morning.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tony. I'm very glad to be here. Thank you for having me here this morning.
And then we know very well that Anambra 2025 is in the air. Political parties are making their permutations, their calculations. They are making their witty movements, alignment and realignment. And they are making certain movements, grouping and regrouping, consultation everywhere. Quite a lot of things happening. And we've seen political parties, about 16 of them, who have submitted candidates for this election. Many of them are serious. Some of them are contenders. I want to ask you first and foremost, do you think every political party who is in this election is a contender or pretender, or more like just try to show their witty before we come back to ABGA, APC, ADC, and some of them? What do you think? Are the 16 political parties as listed by INEC, are they all contenders, or some are just there to play?
Well, thank you very much, the people of Anambra State. Thank you for all the listeners in the whole various parts of the world. You know, in political party setting like this, I think every political party is serious. I wouldn't say that some of them are pretenders or contenders, but I know they mean well for themselves. So I believe that anybody coming on board should have something to showcase. And but the point is that we want the people of Anambra to really be focused and to know the right party and the right candidate to vote for this coming election of November 8, 2025.
All right, thank you so much. You were once in Labour Party. I suspect you may be in ADC now. Let's talk about ADC.
Yes.
And I know very well that you have sympathy for the candidate of ADC from the look of things and from the way things appear. Let me ask again, ADC coalition party, are they making coalition in Anambra State or just coalition at the federal level?
Yes, ADC, African Democratic Congress Party, has already started the spirit of coalition even before the adoption of the parties that came together. I can tell you that sometimes early July, various parties that are involved in the ADC party converge. We have the first convergence meeting at Yoka, and this we have done ever before those other parties in the nation came on board to adopt ADC as the party. So the spirit of coalition has already been in Anambra State. We have parties like Labour Party then, PDP, SDP, and also APC, even the APC members. They joined the coalition. So this is something I can say that Anambra State had already embraced the coalition before time. So, but on the fact that ADC had been adopted by the various parties that came on the national party shows that Anambra State had the spirit, and this will give Anambra State a very good chance on this coming election. And I believe that by the time Anambra State ADC coalition, which will be a test for the coalition in itself, we are going to win the election, and our candidate, His Excellency John Chuma Nwosu, will become the next governor of Anambra State. come November 8, 2025 election.
Do you think the people are with him and the people are with their candidate? If you look around Anambra State has 21 local government, 326 political wards. If you go around the state, would you say, yes, people are getting to know him, or people know him, or he's tested, trusted, and tried? What do you have to say?
Yes, Mr. John Chuma Nwosu is a perfect gentleman. I wouldn't say that he is coming out for the first time. John Nwosu was the former BOT chairman of APOGA, and he has once contested in the primary of election under PDP. So he's not a novice in this particular business of political or contesting for election. So I can tell you very well that he's known all over. But in the spirit of coalition, I strongly believe that most people in the parties that are involved in the coalition have come together. And even the few that are left behind, they are trying to consider. But I can tell you in a very short time, a lot of people will join the coalition party ADC, African Democratic Congress. And I believe majority of the parties who are members of this coalition must have to collapse their parties in all the states where the coalition is taking place. And Anambra will not be an exception. Thank you.
All right. If they are going to collapse their structures for the coalition and Anambra is not going to be a section, let's look at that very thing. ADC would bring on board to the people of Anambra State, because there are people that will tell you if it is not broken, why mend it? There are people that will tell you it's not broken there. So those of other political parties that will tell you no, it is broken. It depends on who is making the statement, on who is speaking. Do you think it is broken in Anambra State?
Well, it is. I will say it is. Some people who are still lagging behind us, lagging back, are just doing it because they are trying to consider. But I can tell you that the champions of the coalition on the national level knows what they're doing. So I believe that if the major stakeholders who have formed this coalition on the national level have gone to their various regions to go and unify all the political parties, I don't see there is any reason why Anambra wouldn't follow suit. So I believe that in Anambra State, all the political parties that are involved in the coalition must surely collapse their structures and follow ADC, African Democratic Congress in Anambra State. And I believe sooner, very soon, most of the parties will collapse into African Democratic Congress, the coalition party in Anambra State.
All right, I want to ask again, because when you say they have to, is it by force when you tell somebody, because these political parties, many of them have candidates, and remember you said many of them are also there for the business, and when you ask them to collapse their candidate, their structures, it also implies that their candidates will as well cease to be candidates and support their candidates. Is that the case?
Yes. You see, when you talk of coalition, it is where political parties come together for a common purpose to achieve their aim. And in this particular situation of our coalition of African Democratic Congress, I strongly believe that most of the parties, even when they have had candidates, will have to compromise. When you talk for coalition means that people who have this stake must compromise in order to follow the reason and to follow the objective for the coalition, which is the major thing for forming the coalition. The coalition, it is a way whereby they will form together for common purpose to achieve the aim. And what is the aim? To confront the ruling party in power, because we are not comfortable with what is going on in Nigeria of today. You see? And it will also happen in Anambra State. Nobody will tell you that it's very comfortable with the government or the governance of today in Anambra State. Therefore, we need a change in order to make life reasonable, make life comfortable, and people should live without fear or favor in their state. So,
now I want to ask you, because maybe are you speaking your mind? Are you speaking the minds of ADC? Are you speaking the minds of Indian number?
Yes, I can tell you that I'm speaking the mind of Indian Anambra, because I strongly believe that people knows the truth, and people who have been seeing what is going on are not happy, and that's why various parties came together to form this coalition. And I believe that by the time all the whole parties that are involved will come together to form the common goal and be able to push for the objective, we must be able to take over the government.
I want you to be specific now, because when you say things are not working, or probably people may not like what is going on, can you be specific? Let's take you on things the present government has done. And then I can tell you that here in Anambra State there is free education.
Yes.
From primary, in fact, from nursery down to secondary school, there's free education. And Anambra State, when it comes to out of school children, is the least in the country. That is one. And there is also an area of medical health or healthcare, as the case could can be. On area of healthcare, we also have free antenatal, postnatal, on even free child delivery, cesarean section as well. That is the operation part of it, free in Anambra State. And at the same time, we've seen some things going on. Do you think these things are just a fuse, or they don't mean anything, or that their party will do something different from what is going on?
Okay, let me refer us back to last week. By this time of last week, on Saturday, the gubernatorial candidate of African Democratic Party, Democratic Congress Party, was here on this Crossfire program. And I remember him saying that, yes, we have seen the free education in Anambra State. And he actually assured that he will continue with that, he will sustain it. But there are a lot of bad conditions in various schools in Anambra State. For instance, he mentioned of the only university we have in Anambra State, how they were kept for more than 3 to 4 years before they should have their convocation, and also the condition of the school. When you go to that school, you will see that it doesn't befit a whole state of Anambra, which doesn't have any other university than the Anambra State University. And the present governor is an academician, and he shouldn't say that he doesn't know the importance of convocation when students finish on their particular degree program, and he would allow it to pile up for almost 5 years before he brought them together to convocate. Then secondly, when you go to the school, there is nothing to write home about. The school is in a very dilapidated condition. You can see when you get to a school, university, the fence were all collapsed. So such doesn't befit a state university like Anambra State.
But we are told that the fence that collapsed was just as a result of this rainy season. That I remember someone who came here immediately was actually telling us that these fences have been put together, that we are in the rainy season, and most times when it rains, things like this can happen. And when they are being put together, but it shouldn't be just a political tool for anybody to say one thing or the other. That there are people that have had their fences collapsed, and it's a question of time, and these things will be put back. What do you have to say about such response?
Well, I can tell you that when you see the fence, you will know that it has been there for a long time. It is not about the rainy season. And besides, there are so many things to consider for a state-owned university. All the students, majority of them are living outside, which they call off-camp. These are things that's supposed to be corrected, because this is the only university we have in Anambra State, and need to be attended and provide all the things that will help the education go well.
Well, let's leave that. Let's talk about primary school, secondary school, and then other schools in Anambra State. And then, just like I did say last time we were here, and last time we were on this program, I did say that Anambra State came top when it comes to Joint Admission and Matriculation Board. And there was an award that recently won by Anambra State students again. And most of the time, we've seen Anambra State winning awards. And then, ADC believes these things are just cosmetics, that the real problems have not been addressed. What are the problems you think we have in our educational system?
Yeah, there is something the ADC, African Democratic Congress Party, want to bring on board in Anambra State. You see, we are not saying that the education is not good. So far, we appreciate that the students or the scholars are doing very well. But there is something we want to bring on board in this particular education that will make a change, that will make the government of ADC be very unique, and something that people will not forget when John Nwosu becomes the governor of Anambra State. For instance, I will tell you that he has the 7 governance pillars agenda in a simple acronym, SHIPS. And this SHIPS stands for security, health, education, economy, environment, markets, and social welfare. Now, John Nwosu is offering to Ndi Anambra a governance model known as SHIMS, which is based on 7 simple, sustainable values, SSV. And will be the policy, the project, and programs successor to edit of the former Anambra government. So for today, on the Crossfire program, I will discuss on a different part of education known as STEM education.
You want to talk about STEM education? We know STEM stands for just science, engineering, technology, and then you have mathematics and all that. That's what we know STEM as.
Yes.
And we've seen STEM in some schools in Anambra State already, or you think they are not in Anambra State already. So what pattern of STEM is a candidate going to bring?
Yes. You see, our candidate, John Chuma Nwosu, is an ICT guru. He has been in IT business for over 30 years. And what he wants to bring on board is his expertise, experience, and knowledge on IT. Let me just say that that John Nwosu, in a very simple word, will bring what we call e-government. Okay? E-government, it is important that Anambra electorate understand clearly the reasons they should insist on voting ADC, African Democratic Congress, in forthcoming 8 November 2025 gubernatorial election. Therefore, in the coming days, we shall be looking down to prove again and again that ADC has the best manifesto in the election, including the education. We have to bring something that will make it unique, something that is different, that something that everybody in Anambra State will embrace, both the old and the young. You see, when people hear about IT, they become jittery. When people hear about IT, they become afraid. But I can tell you that this thing is accessible to both old and new.
You know, when we talk about STEM education, I know very well that it's an interdisciplinary approach, just like I mentioned earlier on, where you talk about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, where they are into a cohesive curriculum based on real-world applications and hands-on problem solving. And we know very well that it aims to equip students with critical thinking, creativity, innovation, and problem solving skill. You know, some of these things are essential for success in a rapid changing technology driven world. Are you also aware that Anambra State has a curriculum system, and that's the curriculum is also linked to STEM education? Aligned with, are you going to introduce new curriculum? And you know you have the universal basic education, and some of these curriculums are set by the federal government, knowing fully well that you have your own part to play, and also knowing fully well that the state has its own part to play, because you cannot overwrite everything overnight. So are you saying that the STEM education, talking about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, will be brought in a different way. What are the ways? Because if you say they are going to be brought in a different way, there will be a different approach to STEM education in Anambra State. What are those approaches?
Thank you very much. Let us narrow down this particular STEM education on the e-government. Now, what is e-government? This refers to the deployment and the use of digital technologies such as websites, mobile apps, cloud platforms, and social media by governance to deliver services, engage with citizens, and improve efficiency. It offers significant advantages to government, citizens, and business alike. So, this is something that we want to introduce in the governance, in the government of Anambra State, that is not found in anywhere. You see, please permit me to share 8 key benefits of e-government that you will enjoy if John Chuma Nwosu becomes governor.
When you talk about e-government, you're talking about electronic government.
Sure.
Where you do things electronically, transmit things electronically without humans, that's human beings being involved much as we have currently. So let's see those benefits to think about.
Thank you very much. You see, e-government that you will enjoy if John Chuma Nwosu becomes the governor, they are as follows. Improved service delivery. When you talk of improved service delivery, e-government makes it easier and faster for citizens to access services with just a few clicks. People can pay taxes, apply for permits, or access social programs, saving time and avoiding long queues at government offices.
So
this is one
it
of
will
them.
save time. You mean it will save resources, and it will also save some delays. Is that what you think?
Exactly.
So you think with that involved, it will improve governance? What will it improve?
It will improve accessibility to government taxes. By the time you click, you will see everything on the platform. You don't need to.
What about those who do not pay their taxes? How do you come about them? Because there are people that will not even pay their taxes. How do you go after them?
We will not go about chasing everybody.
So what will you do?
You see, by the time you introduce this, it will make it easier for citizens to access. Sometimes they don't pay because they don't know. Sometimes you may say they don't have access to maybe the platform to pay. But I believe by the time we create the awareness, people will embrace it. It will make it easier. You don't have to go to offices and queue in the government offices to pay tax.
The point is, there are people that are not paying taxes. We have different forms of taxes. We have personal income tax. We have company income tax. We have VAT, value added tax. We have many of them which the government has harmonized over time with the passage of Tax Administration Act and other tax reforms that we've seen so far. Now, there are people who don't want to. They want to evade tax. In fact, tax evasion is as old as man. From the time it was even introduced, people do not. How do you go about those who deliberately and intentionally do not want to pay tax? How will your government, if you people are elected, how will it go about those who deliberately and intentionally do not want to pay tax?
This is very clear. We have a government already in Nigeria that has been practicing it. You see, we have to introduce a situation where if your wards or your children are going to school, you must provide evidence of tax. You see, when you provide evidence of tax, it will enable every citizen in that state to pay tax.
Oh, you must present evidence of tax payment
for
your kids to be allowed in school. Is that the point you're trying to make?
That is the only way to. You don't have to go and be chasing people in their houses.
So don't you think that if you are doing so, people will be denied education for the fact that their parents do not pay tax? Is that better?
It is not, because what people will be paying is minimal.
Minimal?
When you pay as you earn income tax. That is not something that will make your child that is going to attend school for free education not to go.
Now we have keke riders, okada riders, and there's some people, because right now in Anambra State, if petty traders, if they don't have a turnover of a given amount, they are tax exempt. They are exempted from tax payment. Like hawkers, those who sell akara, those people presently they don't pay taxes in Anambra State as a result of government policy that they don't have a turnover measuring a certain amount of money. I don't know the particular amount, but I don't know whether it's 500,000 or 200,000. I don't know. But the key thing remains: you say that you don't go about chasing people on the road to pay taxes.
Right.
The state revenue service, Anambra State internally revenue service AIRS give us instance saying that the state now makes about 10 billion as IGR. They quoted a particular amount, though it fluctuates. And they said it's as a result of their tireless drive. Government needs to work. That most times some of these works government put on ground. These are taxes people have paid. And the taxes people have paid, these taxes are working for them. And we've seen places where they will tell you your tax is working, not personal money. And you are saying you won't go about chasing people to pay tax. You're going to introduce tax payment system where people click and then they are saying some of these things they don't key up in any building, in any revenue house. And I asked about those who would not want to pay intentionally or deliberately for whatever reason. And you say that government may introduce things like if your works in school do not pay, they may not be allowed to school because they need to pay instead of chasing them around. There are places you hold them accountable to tax payments for them to enjoy the free education. And what about those who are in private schools who may not be integrated into the tax system? We've seen the children of Okada riders, keke riders, and many of them may be in public schools. And when you deny them school, don't you think it would add to out of school? Children's menace we have in place, which Anambra State has battled over the time to reduce to minimum. What do you think?
Yes, we can tell you that we are going to sustain the system of considering the petty traders who have been asked not to pay. And I can tell you that this kind of tax collection drive is the one they go to these petty traders and collect money from them on daily basis, so not considering what they make when you talk of the turnover to pay the tax. We are talking about a little token which you have to pay to show that you are a good citizen of the state. I mean, it has to be considered. A child will not be, denied of being in the school simply because of that. There are also avenues of checkmating all this to make sure that if the parents are not capable, it will also be considered. So I believe that the government that is coming into place are the government that will consider everything that is placed and they, of course, bring the taxes, the too much taxes being paid in the people of Anambra State, it should be reduced drastically and also be accountable to the people.
And we know very well that there are so many things maybe for those developers. I'm aware that it's development levy, a flat annual charge imposed on every taxable person in the state regardless of income type. That's also self-assessment payee, and there's so many of these taxes which government is harmonizing. Even withholding taxes, the one deducted from the source, and also capital gain tax on gains from disposals of assets, land, and stamp duties, and so many things, and some that even go to the federal government with the state sharing formula, market and business premises charges. How do you go about it? In our businesses, in our markets, we have so many markets in this state, and Anambra State is the commercial nerve of the southeast, and some will tell you commercial nerve of the country. And how do you go about collection of taxes in this market? We have annual levies for traders in market or business premises, and we also have private market, government markets, and then we also have hotel occupancy, entertainment, and consumption taxes. There's so many of them. So how would your government, if elected by the people, go about this? When you think the way it's being done shouldn't be the way it should go.
You see, I can tell you today, when you look at the system, the economic system in the country and the Anambra in particular. You can see that people are not finding it easy. I know of a business guy, a petty trader, that is complaining the amount of money they were being asked to pay in the auto parts market over there. You see, this one, we have to be able to consider and checkmate people. That's why we say, first and foremost, we should look at the taxes. We should try to bring it down so that people will be paying something reasonable and something that is affordable. Another thing again is that we don't have to impose. We have various markets in Anambra State. We have major commercial cities in Anambra State. And in these major commercial cities, we don't have to impose leadership on them. And we will allow them to be able to elect their own leaders, and through their leaders.
When they're having problems and they have court litigations, what do you do as a government?
Yes, government should mediate. Government should.
What do you do? Because there is court litigation over leadership and there will be no vacuum. Or won't you put in a caretaker committee waiting for the court to decide?
We must find a way to resolve it. We must find a way to resolve it. You don't have to impose a person because he's a member of your party, and you don't give somebody target. You must bring so and so amount within this period. It is not done. Okay. So when you allow them to choose their leadership, it helps. But in any case, where they could not be able to do that and have litigation, the government that will come into power, is a government that is very reasonable and should be doing something that everybody will be happy. Like we are going to discuss further on the e-government that will show transparency, so that people will be happy, even to pay the minimal amount that you should ask them to pay as tax.
We have been speaking with Honorable Barrister Ifeanyi Mbanose, once a local government candidate for Labour Party in 2013 and also in 2023. He's a businessman and also a legal practitioner. He's our guest, our first guest on Crossfire this morning. He has been speaking to us, saying that you don't need to chase people around when it comes to tax collection, that they are going to introduce e-platforms and then e-ways of doing things, and then not minding the challenges that also comes along with. We have to open the phone lines at this point for you to come in and for you to ask questions, for you to make reaction, for you to make comment. Remember, this is Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM. You don't need to go anywhere because we're here to give you nothing but advice. And remember, I'm still your honorable speaker, Dr. Tony Olisa Mbeki. You can call the following phone number: 0803-221-6973. You can also call 0803-827-6694. This is Crossfire. We're going to take some calls, and then before we bring in the second guest, we go on commercials, and we come back, we continue what we are doing. Let's go first and take some calls from people, from our listeners all over the world, here in Anambra State, here in Nigeria, anywhere they're listening to us from. We are talking about Guba election come 2025, November 8th. Preparation of different candidates and what they stand in this election. Let's go back and start taking your calls. Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you.
Good morning, Olisa Mbeki.
You're welcome.
I'm calling from Onitsha.
Your name is what again?
My name is Romanus.
Romanus.
Yeah.
You're calling from Onitsha. Romanus, please go on with your question or comment or make your submission.
Okay. I thank you, I guess, for answering most of the questions you asked. But I will concur with you and ask you a question. That means Kada riders and Keke riders, their children will not go to school. That means if they had such intention, that means there's no more free education as rightly we are enjoying in this administration.
All right, he will clarify on that also, because he's asking a question that if you try to use taxes to ensure school attendance, it means that the free education may be hampered. You may be making clarification on that statement. Let's go back to the phone lines, but by the time we allow him to come in, he will clarify what he meant by that. He says that he doesn't align with that very statement. Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you. Good morning, are you there? Good morning.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Good morning, Dr. Olisa Mbeki.
You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Yes, I'm a Ngasuibo.
Oh, we can allow that. Please go on, but not for everyone. It's only when you cannot speak English or Pidgin. We can allow that to allow communication to flow.
Okay. So, can I go on?
Go on, Gabaniru.
Okay. Iko Armeka Nepono Gerina Armeka Nagino Udala Radio. Iko ebe metutalo onye na-ekwu bụ Ifeanyi Ezechukwu esikwe m Onitsha akpọ ebe metutalo mbụ ihe gbasara ihe ndị afịa na tax n'afịa. Biko ma the leadership ndị afịa o nwere ebe okwu n'okwu na touchla rinne because na Anambra State otu si dị tata this government still caretaker na afịa niile dị iche iche afịa niile dị na Anambra State. Anụmanụ mgbe ị na-ekwu Dr. Olisa Mbeki na-asị ebe enwere court cases ebe niile ahụ even though o dissolve government a dissolve even ma ndị dị elected for instance also ọkwọrọ market mere election ha na February 9 2022 this government will dissolve ya ebia na relief market ha mere election ha dissolve ha for this government ma na ọbụghị itu akita government a nọbụ Soludo I don't know ọ bụrụ na Tinubu bịa dissolve government Anambra State amara m ka the governor ga-esi wee afọ ya nke mere na Rivers State onye ọbụla dị against that na-ekwu maka ya so ọ bụghị caretaker na-abụ the best ndị Afịa kwesịrị ka ha jiri aka ha elect onye ha chọrọ enwegodu court cases na ọ bụrụ caretaker ga-resolve bụrụ caretaker gọọmenti ga-etinye ga-resolve that court cases so ebe m na-ekwu bụ gọọmenti hapụba itinye caretaker nwa na-etinye n'ime Afịa na-enweta problems n'ime Afịa dị iche iche because na ha ma mme ife ndị Afịa chọrọ ife the traders chọrọ na ya ga na-emezibu ihe gọọmenti chọrọ. For instance, this tax na-ekwu okwu na bụ storage and development levy maka private market and public market. Ihe a na-ana kịta bụ 39,200 naira ka a na-ana na government market.
A year or a month, because I know it's
a year.
39,000. How much? Let me get it. 39,000.
39,200.
200. Okay,
Yeah.
that means that it's about 3,266 naira per month. 3,000.
Good. Before
266.
Soludo Abata as governor of Anambra State, ihe a na-ana bụ 12,200.
Okay.
12,200. Or they may increase another 30,000 naira last year. This year, another 39,200. Then, because we can't Mano had your pipeline. Now, I open up a tap again. Now, the Yaga next year for 120,000 naira. They shop. Or you want 20 shops or why go now? And then, market leaders are not.
All right, can you make it up because of time? We've given you so much time so that we can allow others to come in, because this is not an Igbo program anyway. We just allowed you grace for you to speak Igbo. So conclude your thoughts so that we allow others. There's no much time.
Okay.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go back to the phone lines. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Good morning, my speaker, Olisa Mbeki.
You're welcome.
My name, Honorable Basil Ugu. The guys in our speaker, go get in our good morning, sir.
You're welcome. Please go on. Go on. He's
Okay.
listening.
Okay, my question is regarding STEM education, because I have too much interest in that STEM education. And I want to ask, how are you going to do it? And I want to know how your principal start doing anything regarding any STEM. Has it helped any school in developing, or individual in Anambra State in developing a STEM education in his own area? Has he done anything regarding STEM apart from now? Or he want to be, when he becomes governor, he will start the STEM program or education in Anambra State? Because I know that there are some people that have been helping, I don't want to call names, that have been helping developing STEM in Anambra State, in every donating computer in different schools doing a lot of things. Have your governorship candidate done such thing in Anambra State? If he has done such thing, please can you be able to tell us what he has done before now, so that we will know that he's ready for STEM education in Anambra State?
All right, thank you so much. Asking if the candidate of your party, if he has done anything in the area of STEM, which school in Anambra State has he equipped with STEM facilities? He's not coming to do it as a governor. Has he done that in his local villages, in Newi, anywhere he has been, or he just want to just tell us what he wishes to do for the people of the state? We got a question. You're going to answer it later on. Good morning, you're welcome. Good morning, you're welcome, you're on. Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry about good morning. Go on. Good morning, you're welcome.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you so much. A quick one, you have just a minute because of time.
Okay. The guest in the studio, good morning. This is the verse of Bishop Bez. I am reaching you from Awada here, my brother, in Obosi Urban. Thank you so much.
You're welcome quickly
Well,
because of time.
Let me not emphasize on what the governor will do, because the governor is not physical present at the studio. Let me concentrate on how the governor is doing, how the ADC is going to take over the leadership of Anambra State, because down here in, let me take Awada for instance, we in Awada, we are not much acquainted with what is happening in ADC. So if at all, because Awada, as far as I'm concerned, have up to 10,400 and something voters registered. So what are they doing to make sure that their publicity is viral?
Okay.
And most people and the local places knows what ADC is all about, not a volunteer TV in radio.
All right, thank you so much. Because of time, we have to let you go. Thank you so much. Time is not on our side. There is continuous voters registration exercise going on in Anambra State. And then one of the questions, has your party done anything to ensure that this exercise is well publicized to the people, assist in any way, even when we know it is not within their responsibility? But as a party who is interested to ensure that things go well in the state. Let's take the last call before we come back to you and introduce our second guest this morning. You're welcome. You're live.
Good morning.
Good morning. You're welcome.
I am Oscar, calling from Territory.
Osita calling from Territory. Please go on and make your submission.
My submission is very simple. My question to the gentleman there is that...
Barrister Efanye Mbanose. Please go on with your question. He's our guest this morning.
Good. How is your government, ADC government, going to cope with these multiple? How are they going to cut down the how are they going to cut down the government?
Cost of governance, is that what you mean? Cost of governance.
Cost of governance, exactly. Cost
Okay.
of governance.
How would they cut cost of governance?
Governance, like government is employing too many people in the name of compensating party loyalty. They are taking over the civil service job. So how are they going to cut down this?
Remember there is never, I'm not aware of any employment within the civil service system aside teachers and then medical doctors. So when you say they have taken over civil service by compensation, I think there's no job or applications unless for teachers.
Special assistant, deputy
Oh,
assistant.
political appointment. That's what you mean. All right, we got that. Let's allow our guest to talk about this. And then he's saying that how will you people call down political appointment, not those actually in civil service. But he meant political appointments like XA, XSA, EA, special advisors. But he didn't tell us that if with the ones we have, if they are bloated. But I'm aware that the present government reduced it from what it used to be. In the time of Willie, it was much over 1,000 plus. But presently in Anambra State, I don't know if it's up to 100. But most importantly, remember, political appointments definitely have to come from your political party. That's why it's political appointments. Let's get their reactions on some of these questions. You have got how many minutes? 5 minutes to do this. I don't know how you're going to do that in 5 minutes. Let's go on.
Okay, let me start first from number one question. from Romanus. You see, for Okada riders and the Keke riders, they will not be disturbed, so to say. You see, when we talk about introducing a way to checkmate tax evaders, we are normally going to ask the pupil or the children about their parents. If parents or if Okada riders or petit traders could be considered for the money they collect from them every day by so many people hovering about collecting money, and they consider that those people does not do the turnover that require them paying such rates or such tax, we should also consider the Okada riders and the Keke riders as parents. And I also know that Keke riders are paying certain amount of money per month for riding their Keke. All this should be looked into, and we should consider and make sure that even if there will be any payment, such payment, whereby the e-tax has been introduced, it has to be to the barest minimum. So this is going to be looked into and going to be brought down drastically to the barest minimum. Okay? Then the second question from Ifan Yezechukwu about leadership and taxes in the market. We know that I had already mentioned it, because I know this is one of the problems being encountered by the traders in their various marketplaces. And I say that this government, ADC, African Democratic Congress Party government, if John Chuma Nwosu is elected governor of Anambra State, the difference will be clear. You see, we are going to make sure that the traders in their various markets will be able to be in charge of their leadership and executives. We are not going to introduce party members to come and take over the leadership of the market in order to continue to extort money from the market authority. It is not going to be done. All this we are going to look into very well, and it will no longer be a case that people will be complaining, paying too much money per annum as tax, as market rate is outrageous. We cannot be able to continue allowing that. And that is why we are talking about e-government. If I'm able to be allowed to expatiate more on the e-government, you will see that the e-government, when it is introduced in Anambra State, the transparency will be clear. The people will be involved. They will be part of the government. They will participate. You will have a forum where you can be able to communicate with the officials, and whereby you don't see evidence of good governance, the officials of the government will be held accountable. Okay? So all this money being collected, I can tell you that nobody should be able to account for this money. You cannot say that this is money being collected. Anambra is more of commercial cities, commercial businesses everywhere. And you people are paying this amount of money. Do you know what it means? And can anybody be sure of how this money is being used for the betterment of the citizens? You cannot say it, because you don't have a forum, you don't have a place where you can be able to cross-check these things. But with the e-government we are going to introduce, definitely everybody will be able to access the system and be able to be a participant in the government. So it will be all-inclusive government, whereby citizens will participate, whereby you can be able to ask questions. By the time you make your calculation, you will say, we are paying this much. Why is it that it's not being shown in anywhere? Okay? Then we look at, so all the amount you're being paid will be looked into and should be brought down to the barest minimum. We know what is called market rate. They cannot introduce this kind of taxes upon the sufferings of the people. People will not be paying too much money in the market. It is not fair. And also, we must make sure that the leadership of the market should be elected by the market people.
Okay. I think you have exhausted the question. Is there anyone remaining?
Yes. Okay. Basil Ugu is interested for STEM education. If the candidate has done anything in anywhere in Anambra State, I can tell you that you also direct the question and say that the person here is not the candidate himself. But I can tell you that the candidate is an ICT guru.
So has he done it in Anambra State? Is there any school you can call that he has equipped to the STEM education?
I will not be able to tell you that he has done it in any particular school. Okay. But I can tell you that he has been helping in so many ways in Nigeria, even in Anambra State. I believe by the next time he will be here, he should be able to tell you more on what he has done on the IT or providing computers. That one is a very little thing he's going to do. He's bringing his wealth of knowledge in the IT so that the government on its own will become e-government and be accessible and all-inclusive for the citizens of Anambra State.
Okay.
Then we have another question too. Mr. Ben, what the ADC party is doing in Awada, we have been sensitizing people and also trying to reach out to INEC to provide extra machines, because I know that a lot of people who are coming to register, especially the young people who are registering new, are being disenfranchised, especially if you're not seen to be one of the party supporters. They will not allow you to register. For instance, in my own community, where you will see hundreds of names that will be recorded to register, at the end of the day, these people will register only 20 people. We are trying to implore the INEC officials, now that this thing is going to end tomorrow, they're supposed to provide extra equipment and machines to enable them register people who are willing, people who are eligible, people who are already attain the age of voting, to be able to register and have their voters card. This is what I can tell you. And in our other area, we will also make sure that they will bring it. I believe in a very short time, even before the election of Anambra State, the INEC in the federation will start voters registration exercise again. So that one, if not completed by Anambra State, since they wanted to stop, I believe very soon INEC in the federation will start voters registration exercise.
All right, thank you so much. Quickly, because of time, you've taken almost 8 minutes with your response.
Another question by Osita. How do you this government
combine all the questions? Combine all the questions together. Yes, because we're not going to take any time.
Mr. Osita, how the government is going to cut down
political
the
appointments
cost of governance in Anambra State through political appointment? I can tell you that this government is introducing e-government, and having so many SAs, having so many people to be in the government, by trying to patronize them, trying to consider them because they are political affiliates, will not be happening in this particular government. The government had already planned that they will use e-government in the governance so that things will be a lot easier and people should be...
We are complete out of time. Thank you so much, Honorable Barrister Ifanye Mbanose, one-time Labour candidate for Idemili South local government, Idemili North, rather, in 2013 and also in 2023. Thank you so much for your time. We are completely out of time. Your final word before we leave the studio and then bring in the second guest we have this morning. Your final word this morning.
Yes, thank you very much. What I want to tell Anambra people, because of want of time, I am not able to explain the benefit of e-government to Anambra people. But what I want to implore the Anambrarians, as we look to the future, embracing e-government is no longer optional. It is essential for building efficient, inclusive, and accountable governance.
Okay.
So let us vote for John Chuma Nwosu to revolutionize the governance for our common good.
Okay.
And you will be happy. You will enjoy it. Every Anambrarians will enjoy it.
Thank you so much. We're completely out of time. Thank you so much for your time. Let's take a break. When we come back from this break, we are going to introduce our second guest this very morning. He's going to join us via the phone line. And we have Chris Makulwoso, who will do justice to some of the issues we're going to present to him immediately after this commercial. We'll be right back after the break.
Udala Mwagenti, Udala FM, Amaga, na 104.7 corner, Foko, current affairs, business entertainment in a police. 104.7 kind of network. That's Josie. The Bola, 104.7 kind of network. That's Josie. 104.7 FM, seriously authentic.
Good news and welcome to Winners Global Estate, Heaven in Ogwashuku and Nyocha local government area, Asaba, Delta State. Home sweet home.
Ladies and gentlemen, mamas and papas, Winners Global Estate is here with a special promo package for real winners. Don't miss out in this laudable promo 2025, Heaven on Earth.
Buy, build, live, work, and enjoy. Unlock your dream home of reality. Winners Global Estate is selling fast. 3.5 million, 50 by 100. No more 7 million. Promo price. For booking and more information, please call
081-6440-4098 or 080-3744-3787. Winners Global Estate. Your security is assured.
Winners Global Estate.
Crusade. Yes, so this one a mega once in a lifetime kind of crusade. House of Sublimes Properties Limited, the reigning real estate company known for zero problems, invites you to this land crusade with theme Gospel of Lands Crusade. If you have bought land anywhere and you are experiencing any problems or challenges, this crusade is for you. Highlights, connections, business deals, relationship meetings, first class entertainment, plus many other things. Date Sunday 20th of July 2025. Venue Night of St. Christopher Hall, All Saints Cathedral, opposite Red Cross Onitsha. Time 12 noon prompt. Come and get your breakthroughs. Get fee free of charge.
For inquiries, call Bishop on 081 36 40 4171 081 36 40 4171.
Come one, come all. House of Sublimes Properties Limited. Your peace of mind.
Quality bread, Wendy's bread. For your family breakfast, Wendy's bread. Wendy's bread. Mama, papa, they like Wendy's bread. Wendy's bread. Even children, they like Wendy's bread. Wendy's bread. Wendy's bread. You get the better tasty, we go sweet your belly. Wendy's bread. Wendy's your bachichoma. Wendy's bread, the champion.
Wendy's bread, your tasty bread. You can contact us on our official address, Second Business Park, Enugu Road, GRA, beside Onitsha, Anambra State. We also have another branch at St. Michael Plaza at Tandy Road. Also contact us on 070-1149-1571. Wendy's bread, your tasty bread.
Wendy's bread.
From the commercial city of Onitsha comes Udala Radio 104.7 FM, the voice of the region, where authentic news and entertainment meet. Udala Radio 104.7 FM, seriously authentic. Udala Radio 104.7 FM, seriously authentic.
A city of movement, a city of trade, a city of heritage. From the rays of the sun to the radiant glow of the river Niger, from the echoes of Ose Market to the silent prayers rising from the basilica, This city beats like a drum. Loud.
Yeah, welcome back. It's still Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM. This lovely Saturday morning, just like we said earlier on, we have a second guest who is eagerly waiting for us. He has been with us. He joins us live from Umushu, and then he'll be speaking to us. We have this very morning Chris McCool, also a public affairs analyst and a public commentator, and also an ABGA loyalist. I don't know, Chris McCool, can you hear me over there?
I can hear you. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, listeners. It's my pleasure to be with you once again.
Yeah, our second guest. I don't know if you heard some of the things that our first guest said before signing out. Were you paying attention, or you are just joining now?
I joined while he was answering some of the questions, so I just got a piecemeal. What the questions he answered.
Okay, all right. Then let's quickly talk about the government of Anambra State, the government of Professor Chukwumacha Soludo. And one thing I want to pick is the issue of revenue. There was this imbroglio where it was said Shamila remains the number one revenue generating agency in Anambra State, and it was something that debunked by the Anambra State internally revenue service, where they said that's not the correct version, that's not true. And I also want to bring in the issue of revenue collection, where just our guests who left now say that they won't be chasing people around, and possibly they would use situations where students must present evidence of tax payment by their parents, though he tried to clarify that before they be allowed into school, that people will not be chased up and down. Let's get a thought about tax system in Anambra State. Is it going well? What do you think? And what do you think probably it's not going well? Let's get a thought on this.
Thank you very much. I think I did rather want to concentrate on your first question, on your second question, because that's more important for now. And the hula about the first one, I consider absolutely unnecessary, because the issues are very clear. Without trying to paint words, Submila remains the highest indigenous tax-paying enterprise we have in Anambra. The banks might be there, but the statement clarified. The statement was made in context, so I don't want to go there because it's difficult to contradict that point of view. But having said that, because I listened to your last speaker, and he dwelled more on e-governance, e-this, e-that. That underscores the predicament that a lot of opposition candidates will face campaigning against Soludo. And that predicament is as a result of the holistic governance that Mr. Governor has so far dished out in Anambra State, which touches on virtually all sectors. Like, I'm surprised that he's talking about e-governance. I wonder whether he remembered that the Soludo government has won a number of e-awards. I don't know if he knows that this government has won awards in that direction in terms of, trying to, deploy ICT in governance. So that is to say that this government has already kick-started what they were mulling. Of course, government is a continuum, and even if this government did not do everything, the important thing is that it has taken a very bold step. For example, it's records in terms of trying to deploy technology in managing resources, in administration, are replete. The last one that was introduced, if I remember, for example, is the the geographic information system for land, for efficient land administration. These are part of what he's talking. This is e-governance. Whether you like it or not, this is using technology, in the land administration sector. So if you say you are introducing e-governance, this will form part of it at the end of the day. Now, there is the Solution Innovation District what the administration calls Africa Silicon Valley. The building is coming up, and a lot will, get enabled when that project comes on stream. Beyond that, it is also on record that this government has trained over 30,000 youths through the same Solution Innovation District in various digital skills. Most of them were empowered, in such a way that they can now succeed in the global digital economy. So when you say e-governance, it's about digitization. And, I'm at a loss, the way he made it look as though this government has not done anything in that direction, when actually this government has taken very bold steps and appears to be, succeeding in that direction. Like when you talk about, that leads me to your second question, taxation. I am not a trader, but I speak to traders. And as an investigative journalist, one of the things, my favorite pastimes is to always generate conversations and get reactions on my own as an independent person, because I don't work for the government. Now, the truth is that if you talk to an average Okada man, that's a motorcycle ride, commercial motorcycle rider, anywhere in Anambra State today, they will tell you they feel a lot much better. They are no longer complaining. The issues have been, whatever issues there were, at the very beginning, the teaching stages, have been ironed out. You know when to pay, you know where to pay. Yes, there is room for improvement because the collection is not completely e-driven for now, because I still see some of them pay and get tickets, But the important thing is that, the system has improved. The harassment from touts has reduced drastically, if not eliminated in some areas, and all that. So government is a work in progress. Then talking about trader, because I had him, made mention of a whole lot of things. It's easy to say, oh, I will come in. When my government comes in, they will not bring politicians to take over the market. Who says that politicians are taking over the market? I do not agree entirely with that. But it does not mean, I'm a professional in politics. I've had people tell me, oh, you work for this government, when I don't. If people who know my history know, my antecedent in terms of driving the advocacy for good governance. But some people still think that you're paid or you're doing this for this or that. I made a comment somewhere in Facebook the other day, somebody who should know better. I made a reference to the roles I played during the Let's Go North campaign as a pioneer advocate of that movement. And then he said, I worked for the money because I said I generated the billboards. But what people like him do not know is that I did everything I did then 100% pro bono because I was interested in, driving good governance. So when you are a professional in politics and you use some of your God-given talents to, try in aid of the state, it's not a must that you must do it for money. We started this whole, media aid advocacy. You wouldn't call us aid then because I was president of Alumunne. Alumunne was the premier pro-ABGA social media group on on Facebook and other social media platforms. And we were 20 of us, all of us still alive today, and on social media. ABGA government never paid us a dime, never gave any of us appointment, and we didn't care nor bother because that was not the reason why we started Alumunne. We started Alumunne to actually ensure that there is good governance in Anambra State, and it worked whole and entire. For example, it is that group that was the pivotal to driving the Obiano campaign.
All right.
So what I'm trying to say is this. Most of the things he talked about can be found, engraved in the vision of this administration. Okay. And are all there. What we can be talking about is the level of implementation or the level of successes or otherwise that has been attained. Okay. Not that this will be novel idea saying you are going to bring e-government. It's not novel. This government is already.
I want to ask you something because it's important we contextualize things, and then you did mention about a particular award the government of Anambra State secured. That was sometime around 2024, where they secured an incredible 4 prestigious award during the ICT peer review section at the 11th National Council on Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy code name NCCIDE, that was held in Kano under the different categories. And you are trying to let us know that Anambra State emerged as the overall winner, best state in digital technology development. And then first position, best state in digital infrastructure technology development, and also first runner-up in e-government implementation, and also first runner-up in digital technology human capital development, organized by the Ministry of Information Technology. And then it was held in Kano, and then I saw the governor of Kano State giving such award. So yeah, what's their point? What's their point?
Remarkably, it was a federal government award, so you can't even say that the state was favored. Do you understand? So the point I'm trying to make is that he was saying something. He wasn't saying anything new. That he came talking about something that is already in place in Anambra State, so that they should look for other things to talk about. And that's why I say I sympathize with them, because Mr. Governor has been so holistic in his approach that he's leaving no gaps. Okay. That is the problem.
Okay.
So that's the point I'm trying to make, that what he's talking about is something that is already on in Anambra State.
And with the state has one award on. I want to ask you, there is another question I want you to address before I go back and ask you some other things you think government of Anambra State is doing right, and some things people complain that they are not getting right. But first, before I go into that, let's talk about chasing people for tax collection. What do you think, or how do you think that is the best way to go about those who voluntarily and deliberately do not want to pay taxes, those Okada riders, those people who are into one business or the other, for whatever reason they don't want to pay tax? ADC is proposing and not allowing their children to be in school for some time. Not just ADC proposes, sorry. The candidate, somebody, our guest, proposed such. I wouldn't say it's ADC anyway, so I will not be mistaken. But he proposed that there are better ways to go about this, of which I asked him, which is, he said, not allowing their children, or any child who comes to school must ensure that the parents or the guidance are making tax payments, which he later clarified anyway. He said that not really in a way to make them not to be in school, a way to check if they are paying, their parents are paying taxes or not. But people are complaining that some of these tax collectors chase people around. Do you think there's a better way to go about it?
The truth is this: the issues of taxation in third world countries generally will remain on the front burner for as long as good governance is elusive in a lot of societies. If you look at the civilized world, you see that the tax system works because government works for the people, and so the people willingly pay this tax. So at the stage and level we are, you can only continue to improve on what is on ground. And I am very, very certain and convinced in my heart that the Soludo administration has actually taken us way above where he met, tax collection. It's not yet Uhuru, but all that is required is to grind on until you attain at least 90% digitization, in terms of formats of collection, revenue collections and all that. Like I said, you still have places where people collect, sell tickets and collect cash. And those are the pigeonholes via which, corruption thrives.
Okay.
But then, it's a system that has been etched for far too long. So you don't expect it to go away or to reverse it in a jiffy.
Okay.
So there is no set pattern. But what I'm trying to say is that the only way to go actually is digitization. And this government is already doing that gradually. And
so
I can assure
are you saying that people don't pay by cash, or they pay digitally?
No, let me land. Let me land.
Okay.
Because there are various forms of tax. But generally speaking, everything revolves around provision of basic amenities, good governance essentially. When people begin to see, for example, we watched videos or clips of the governor's inspection visits to several places. And you now have situations where even, petty traders, market women, market men, will come out celebrating the governor's feats and trying to encourage him,
Is it because what I'm curious to find out from you? I'm aware that the government says petty traders won't pay taxes, they are tax exempt, but there are some people who go to where these petty traders are and collect money, cash, even when government says nobody should pay cash, that any form of government transaction is through digital transaction, but there are people that go around to collect cash. Who are these people?
That's what I'm saying. Those are the remnants of the old order. But from I've done a deep investigation of the leakages you're talking about, and you'll be shocked to know that even the government-sanctioned tax, companies, or the revenue collection companies, are also, indirectly responsible, because sometimes when these people are caught, you still find that they are one way or the other still attached to them. Okay. You understand? So, and the general feeling, what people feel from my investigation is that it is from that window that they can now shortchange government based on the agreement reached with government. Because if you pay through a point of service or whatever, or you went to pay into the bank, you cannot shortchange government. So that's why it is, it appears that the thing is not, prepared to go away completely.
I got your point. Now let's make it easier. You are trying to say that those people who do collect this money, government do not know them, the government do arrest them or sanction them. Is that the point you're trying to make?
That is part of the point, but how many of them can you arrest?
How many of them? Okay, now let's leave that. Why do you think that Soludo deserves 8 years in office? What are those things you think that will make anybody in Anambra State to say he must go for a second term? The word there is must. Can you itemize few things, not many, that you all look around and say this man must?
Thank God you said few things, because it would have been difficult to even try to, be holistic about it, given the quantum of work, excellent work that the governor has done. Now, let's begin with, the transformation that Anambra has experienced under this government. In the area of infrastructure, for example, and when I talk about infrastructure, I include road infrastructure. Today, the difference has been very, very clear. The dualization of Amobia, Nwaguagulu, Ekulobia, Oga Junction to Akokwa Junction, and then the dualization of Nwaguagulu to Newi, to Ozobulu, through to Onitsha Owerri Expressway. Of course, the early feats, very great feats. The 26-kilometer Amansi Ubenu above Emily Road, and the sister, opposite Amansi, to Ufuma, and all those. These are very significant, landmarks that, caught people's attention even early in the days of the administration. But beyond that, there are other things that people don't see that even equates more than these things, in my own equation. For example, when he came in, there was still this issue of schools without teachers. And these are things that impact directly on the welfare of society at large. You and I are witnesses to the fact that in under 3 years, Soludo was able to employ 8,115 teachers. He was able to employ over 1,000 health workers, spanning across nurses, spanning across doctors and other workers in the health care sector. He was able to train and empower through the One Youth Two Skills scheme, initially 5,000 youths, and with another 8,000 plus now undergoing the second batch training and all that. Like I said earlier, the Solution Innovation District has actually done a lot in empowering our youths, in the issue of in the area of ICT, such that some of them can now go ahead, sit back in their houses, and make money through the global digital economy. In the health in the health center, the healthcare sector, he has done marvelously. Today, pregnant women in Anambra State no longer had to bother about maternal mortality to the point that they were bothered before, in the sense that both antenatal and child delivery are now free of charge in government-owned health institutions. This has helped in reducing, maternal mortality. And the last time I checked, over 100,000, CS bats has taken place. These are things that ordinarily poses very difficult threat to economies and all that. And what can you not talk about? So the government has touched virtually everything. The government in the health sector also, 5 new general hospitals have been built. 4 of them have been completed, and I know that the last one is undergoing completion. Oboko has been completely transformed to the point that if you get into Oboko today, you find it difficult. You go to a place like Ochanja. If you know what it used to look like, you did be asking yourself, is this really the place? How could this have taken place? So it's not, and you go to the hinterland everywhere.
Okay.
There is one thing or the other. In terms of erosion control, the government is trying. So my position, or my yardstick for judging governments is their holistic approach. When a government has a holistic outlook and approach to governance, then I become a fan of that government. It's not about just picking out one economic sector and then making great marks in that sector. And then, everybody's talking about it. But if you look at the Soludo administration, it is actually working to its goal, which is to build a livable and prosperous Anambra State.
Okay. Now, Chris Mako, I'm aware that you're on transit, but then we have to stop you to get these statements from you to ask you what you think about different things going in Anambra State. You've mentioned quite a lot of things, saying in the area of infrastructure, education, and you also mentioned health. You did not mention security, which is very fundamental, and then the touch in Dagboro that used to litter everywhere in the state. Would you say these things are better off? Would you say Anambra State is better off in terms of security? And I also want to ask you that those that believe that yes, the governor has done so many roads, many have given him congratulations, many have applauded him, many have given him awards. We've seen awards coming in that area, but some are still saying that he hasn't equipped transportation sector apart from the roads. Like some of them mentioned Enugu, saying that Peter Mba has come up with Enugu Air, where they are floating an airline for the states. And even as that, we know that Anambra State has an airport. Apart from road construction, you mentioned many of them, dualization of many roads. You talked about Topoko. You talked about Ochanja. You told me, go to Ochanja and ask yourself this question, was it what it used to be? And then I can tell you that I passed through that place yesterday, Iweka Road. I passed through many of them. 6th Avenue in Onitsha, Mise Lems, Port Harcourt Road. These are changes. But has the governor equipped transportation sector by ensuring the rollout of taxis and even the airline, as we saw in Enugu State? Then
every government has its priorities, and let me start with that issue of airline. I am not a fan of government doing business. I am not one of those who is applauding Enugu State for floating an airline. We've seen states float airline. We had Imo Dana collaboration. I don't know where it is today. We had 1 or 2 others like that. In fact, of all the airlines, of all the attempts by states, only the one in Akwa Ibom appear to still be, thriving. So it's not things that private sectors should drive, very well. What government needs to do is to create enabling environment. And I think that's what Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo is trying to do. That's by that. Then when you talk about transportation, that is a very big necessity. But then every government has its priorities. If you look at what I have reeled out, which are not exhaustive anyway, you will now begin to and you want to you now juxtapose that with the fact that this government is still slightly just above 3 years in office in its first term, then you will know that there are time, to do a lot. And I made the point when I was defending this government in its early days, when people were talking about not holding local government election, when the government was just less than 6 months in power and all that. I made the point, and that brings me to the issue you raised about security. I made the point then that with the state of insecurity that Governor Charles Chukwuma Soludo inherited in Anambra State or met in Anambra State, there was no way he could have been talking about. There is no way he could have been talking about, other things. So it took him quite a little time to stabilize the state in terms of insecurity. And that's why when there was a research and people tried to make it look as though the government didn't do anything on 3 years, I said, no, this is not how to oppose a government, because we all know, like I used to tell people on Facebook or anywhere then, I said, I can give you up to 100 videos of, UGM camps dislodged in Anambra State within his first year in office, a lot of the hoodlums.
What is UGM? When you say UGM, are they an organization or maybe a trade union?
UGM is an acronym for unknown government.
Oh.
And unknown government are our brothers.
Oh.
And most of them are our brothers and sisters.
No, they are not my brothers. They may be your brothers. No, they cannot be my brothers.
When the governor said in the US recently that 90% or is it 99% of these boys are Igbo people, he meant it. That's the way it is. People criticize me for saying that, but that was what it was even then. So this government has also done very well in security. I tell people you cannot have 100% security, but if you know where we are coming from, you will know that it is some kind of haram, like the Hausas or Muslims will say, to even try to, equate what is on ground now with the situation that the governor made himself when he came in and about 7 local governments were under, lock and key by these, anti-social elements and all that. But today, in all those local governments, you couldn't say that the situation has not, in fact, in some, you will stop talking about them. It is just maybe in Ihiala, parts of Ihiala, not even all Ihiala, that we are still having some challenges, So the government has done well, and I'm happy that the communities are collaborating with the government to, sustain the momentum gained. And I also want to, commend the current Commissioner of Police in Anambra State with his team. I think they are doing great. And what they need to do is actually to, rein in some of the bad acts within the force. Okay. And then I think we'll be there.
No,
already.
The police commissioner was with us here yesterday, and then he threw his number open and asked the people of Anambra and Anambra, you don't need to complain so much. That complaint, channel it to him. He asked everybody. Don't send it to anybody. To him, he promises that he must do something if any of these his boys, the bad elements, the bad eggs, collect money, do this, charge you for bail is now free. Just text him, tell him it is happening here. So person. So that's what he said. And then he asked the people, challenge them. Once you do that and look out for what will happen. He was here with us here at Udala FM. That was yesterday. It was a long conversation with the police commissioner of Anambra State, Rutigi. So that was that.
Good to know that. So obviously, this government, in summation and in answer to your question firmly, the government had actually deserved a second term by the time it attained 2 years in office. Because if you really want to equate what this government has done, honestly, it has actually outpaced my expectations.
So now, what would you say is the best policy the present government of Anambra State has in place? Would you say the free education, or would you say the touting who are? And remember, people are still complaining about in their code. Hope you are aware. But what would you say is the best policy of the government? Would you say is
for me? Let me answer you without a whimper. For me, it's a combination of two things: the free education and the free antenatal and child delivery thing. I am a proponent of pro-people politics.
Okay. Now we'll allow our people to ask the question. We have been speaking with Honorable Chris Makonwosu, a public affairs analyst, a public commentator, a journalist, and also an Abga loyalist. Let's open the phone lines for those who have not called earlier on to come on with their questions to Chris Makonwosu, who is with us via the phone line 0803 221 6973. You can also call the second line 0803 827 6694. We have Chris Makonwosu on the line. Good morning, you're welcome. It's good to have you.
Good morning, Olisa Mbeki.
You're welcome.
Mario Kechuka calling from Onitsha.
You're welcome, Mario Kechuka.
My speaker, I want to put it to Maku that the reason why he's pushing all this support to the president governor is it not because his man is coming out as a Senate candidate. He's maybe doing this for the governor to support his the person he wants. In Anambra Center, I'm forgetting his name.
Okay.
The former House of Rep of I think Yobusigo.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about. So maybe the reason why he is dishing all this support is it not because of that?
Is it not because of Maku or because of the person he is supporting for Anambra South? Is that it?
For them to give him PK.
Okay, that is one. What's the second question?
My speaker, what I want to say finally is that my speaker, I will keep reiterating myself. Mr. Speaker, you cannot hire Messi and you keep playing Messi at the central midfielder. Or maybe ISC Ronaldo and you playing at center back. I am saying, Mr. Speaker, we are tired of these guess. I will keep saying this. We are missing a lot.
All right.
So many developments in the world.
You want me to do a program alone? We've got that. You've asked this many times. You want me to do a program alone where I will not have guests?
Yes. I am getting original news there, and you are bringing more teaching that to my understanding. Please.
All right, we got that.
Only me, many of us.
All right. Thank you so much. We got that from Maroke Chuka. And Maroke Chuka, we got that. Let's go back to the phone lines. We have many people on the line. Good morning. Chris Makonwosu is still with us. He's going to react to that accusation you made, but I don't know what is accusation of fact. Anyway, he will react to that. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Doctor, good morning.
You're welcome.
Yes. I'm Obi calling from Ihiala.
Obi calling from Ihiala. How is Ihiala this morning?
We are very fine.
I was told that you people don't sleep with your eyes closed. How true is that?
Maybe in a particular place, not to expose Ihiala.
So Ihiala is okay by you?
The Ihiala town
it's okay. All right. Let's go on. We'll go on with the question. When you say that Ihiala is okay.
Yeah. What I want to ask is this. Apart from on the Chamem market, again, is so special in terms of development with Anambra State. Apart from on the Chamem market. That's my question.
I'm just trying to get a question. Apart from Onitsha main market.
From Onitsha main market, if you take it away from Anambra, what again is so special with Anambra?
Okay, that's the question. All right, we got that. Chris Maku.
This question is this. Let me assume that Delta State now build their own main market in international standards. Because why before that governor is doing well? It's when I will begin to see people trooping into Anambra State from other states.
All right, tourism.
I will now know that there is no positive.
All right, thank you so much. We got that. Good morning. You asked a very good morning.
Yeah, very good morning to you, Dr. Olisa Mbeki.
You're welcome. You have to make it brief. Chidi Chukuma calling from aboard this morning. Please go on.
Yeah, very good morning to you, our guest.
Good morning.
Yes, I must commend
Thank you. All right.
To make sure that there is road construction, street by street. Now,
you want internal streets. Remember, when you consider Omoba, there are places in Omoba that roads are going on. Construction of roads are going on presently. And the last I went there, I saw construction of roads within Omoba. Okay, Omoba is not part of Mbo. You want the same thing happening in Omoba to happen in Mbo? Okay.
Yes, I'm talking of Mbo.
Okay. And also, if you go inside Obosi, I saw road constructions going in Obosi, Ekeke Road. I'm aware it has been done. There is a big drainage being done along. So,
we have the largest voting strength here in Mbo.
okay.
And even on the area of internal revenue,
Okay.
we are contributing immensely in Anambra State.
All right. You want these things to replicate in Mbo. Thank you so much. We got that because of time. We have to let you go.
After the four have developed, then the government will come.
All right, we got that. Thank you so much, Shady Chukwuma. I hope Makul is taking note of some of these reactions because he's going to react to them later on. Good morning. You're welcome. It's good to have you.
Yeah. Hello. Good morning.
You're welcome to Udala 104.7 FM. This is Crossfire. Please, let's go.
Okay. Thank you very much. My name is Obina Orumba. Yes, I am calling to react to two major questions you asked the guest on the radio. So these questions are: number one, how much Mr. Governor has done on transport. So in this transportation, I want to say that it will actually be a disservice to even compare Mr. Governor, Professor Chukwuma Soludo, with any governor on transportation. My point. Unless someone is asking about the cars or aeroplanes he has bought. But what is the essence of all the road constructions going on in Anambra State, if not transportation? I can bet you that the ease of transport in Onitsha metropolis has increased to what I can say 700% because of the road construction that has been done by Mr. Governor. So in the land transportation, construction of the roads, which has actually reflected the Unyang and 1 year of Abuga, it is unprecedented. No governor has improved transportation like that. Again, Mr. Governor has actually done well to improve on trackers, Transport Corporation of Anambra State. They are doing well. We are also aware, we have spoken about it severally, about the railway lines that intend to construct around Anambra State, to be able to export and import things regarding some of the sites and things that the governor is about to establish in Anambra State, like the Freehead Industrial Park and the Oboji Pharmaceutical Hub and some of our agri areas. Then I'm leaving the transportation now because no one has done as good as the governor of Anambra State on that side. Considering the network of roads and the management of the existing transport companies, and then the plans he has on ground. Then coming to P2B, saying that, because you asked Chris Maku that question, saying that his company, I want to quote His Excellency Mr. P2B, he says, the brewery aspect of Sabmila is the highest paying taxpayer in Anambra State. That was his word. Now, ignoring Professor Chukwuma as somebody who does not entertain ambiguity in any form, then his people decided to go and check not whether it is a shoemaker company or a toothbrush company.
You have to wrap up because of time. So that
but the important thing is that there are 5 companies which are paying better than brewery aspect of Sabmila. So it remains true. It remains unambiguous.
All right.
What someone can ask is that maybe they should have left discussing it. But the truth is that P2B's company is not the highest.
All right. Okay. We are completely out of time. We have a number of people listening to us. I can tell you here for free that we have thousands of callers. and I've said it many times, you can fact check me. This program remains one of the programs that generate the highest traffic in the entire Southeast. I don't want to talk about Southwest. And then that makes Udala to be towering in every sense. Look at the traffic everywhere. People calling, people reacting. The Facebook I've not even checked. But let's leave that. Let's turn our attention to Makul. I don't know whether Makul, if you are still there.
I'm here.
But before we come back to you, Makul, my spirit tells me, pick one more call and come back to Makul. Hope you're okay with that.
Well, do.
But all right. Let's do that, please. Let's do that. We have thousands of callers. Those who want to say one thing or the other, many of them keying up. And remember, we do not allow those who had called earlier during the ADC program. Good morning, you're welcome.
Yes, good morning, Dr. Olisa Mbeki.
You're welcome. You're the lucky person. You've been trying, I guess so. You've been trying, just like others.
I have always tried. Henry is my name from GRE Onitsha.
Henry calling from GRE Onitsha. Please go on, Henry.
The last caller took all our time praising Soludo.
Okay, the last caller.
I'm comfortable with that.
We are more concerned about the content of what he was saying, but we have to also let him know that others are waiting. Sorry about that. Please go on. Quickly, make it break because of time. All right, you want me to go and get Bell? It's always hot here. That's why it's Crossfire. Let's go. Let's go.
Let me say something concerning our guest said over the statement led by
the first guest or the second guest. The second guest is still with us.
The second guest, the man at hand now.
Okay, all right, please go on.
I'm referring to the statement made by my governor in Maryland, USA. And I want to say this. We must always try to protect our own. Jonathan Goodluck, when he was in power, the Northern has said any attack against Boko Haram is an attack against North. When the Boho, Otis, and the rest of them, we are, doing their thing. The Westerners, we are protecting their own. In as much as I say this, I do not support wrongdoing or evil. But I must say, we must always try to protect our own. You mustn't watch your dirty linings in the public. Now, my governor went to Maryland in the USA and said 99.9% Igbos are thieves, criminals, groups.
I think that's not the way he said it. That's not the way he said it. He said those arrested, the criminals, his government has arrested, not that Igbos are criminals. No, please, let's be very, very factual. It is on context.
99.9% people arrested are Igbos.
By his government, by security officials, since he took over in Anambra State. He wasn't talking about, let's be all right, go on and make your point, because we can't just go on and deliberate.
What I'm saying here is, my governor, Professor Charles Soludo, mustn't say that, because he spoke to the whole world.
So what do you want him to say, rather?
Excuse me?
Would you want him to have lied to the
world? Hold on. Please go on. If you say he wouldn't have said that, I would also want to know what you think he would have said.
He mustn't say that in the first place to the whole world. You don't want your dirty linings in public.
Okay.
Let me say something. Let me reveal a subtext in that statement, because I have been so much agreed over that statement.
Okay.
My people will say, your father and my father will always say, no, so the subtext in that statement simply meant.
All right, because of time, we have to let you go. We have few minutes. Just make your point. Just make your point.
That means the Igbo people that give birth to these boys or whatever are criminals according to Igbo traditional culture.
Okay. So you are saying you shouldn't have said that. All right, I have to let you go. I have to let you go because of time. We're completely out of time. We have to manage time. Chris McCall, you have just 3 minutes to wrap up all the reactions. We've got so many reactions because if you had allowed Henry, he will eat into our time, and that would also cause a problem for the next program, which is Health Watch. Okay, let's go on with you, Chris McCool. I don't know if you're still there. You've got so many questions. People ask still.
Yes.
Please use 3 minutes to wrap up. We are completely out of time.
Fine. I may not even take up to the 3 minutes. In answer to Mary Kay Chuka, the fact is that if he checks my antecedent online, he would find that I started supporting this government about 4 months into the life of the government. Meanwhile, the senator representing Anambra State, unfortunately, Anambra South, unfortunately died on July 27th, 2024. So it couldn't have been because I'm supporting Azubogu that I'm supporting the governor. I started supporting the governor. I took up the defense of the governor when it became obvious to me that the opposition was being politically and partisan motivated 4 months into this administration. So your perception is not correct. And I'd like to disabuse your mind of that. Then I'm happy Obiokeke called from Ihiala and affirmed what I said earlier, that it's only in a few parts of Ihiala that you still have challenges. Otherwise, Ihiala town is okay and all that. What he was concerned about is that he was concerned about further development because he was complaining that outside Onitsha main market, there doesn't appear to be any other, in its like or state in the state. And I want to agree with him, but I also know that the government is doing something already because in Oboji, there's a pharmaceutical, industrial park, a pharmaceutical park coming up there in Oba. Government is also building a market that would obviously, subsume the Headbridge Obogu drug market and all that. And I know that all these are geared towards the vision of the government to transform Anambra from a departure lounge to, a destination point.
So do you think the Solution Fund City would not bring in people into the state because he said that
You took the word out of my mouth because that was the next thing I was going to say. Okay. That people who are criticizing the Solution Fund City do not appear to cognize this very important element of the governor's vision.
So it's not Jangolova as they said.
Making Anambra State a destination point instead of a departure lounge. So those are the kind of infrastructure that you need on ground that we attract people from the outside and that's why it was built to the standard. You don't have any in the southeast. So if you're in the southeast today and you want to have real fun, the first place that comes to mind by the time that place is very well publicized.
All right, Chris, we are completely out of time. I don't know. You have to make your final statement, and your final statement should be just like the ADC was actually promoting their candidate. What do you think should the people of Anambra State do come November 8th?
My final statement is that the people of Anambra should come November 8th, reaffirm Soludo's tenure, and that's what I expect. I expect him to win and win well, that he will continue the good works that he has already done in Anambra State.
All right.
Anybody who says Anambra is not moving forward is either being political or is being driven by some partisan interests.
All right, we are completely out of time. Thank you so much, Chris Makulwosu, who joined us while on transit. I don't know, the transit is headed to Umuchu. I'm aware he has to stop by to engage with us this very morning. Thank you so much, Chris Makunwosu, a public affairs commentator and also public affairs analyst. Gentlemen and ladies, it has been what it is. For those of you who joined us on social media, permit me, I may not be able to recognize you. We are completely out of time. I promise next time we come back here, I will give you special recognition. We have our social media handles buzzing, but my time is completely up. The program was hot, and it has always been. This is Crossfire on Udala 104.7 FM, and I still remain Dr. Tony Olisa Mbeki, the Honorable Speaker. We have to do this next time, next week. Remember, we have another program coming up, health program, and I know very well that Chinya Romiko and both of them will do justice to that. I have to bow out here. Next you will see me, you will not see me in Onitsha here. Where you will see me, I won't tell you, but I'm off from Onitsha at this moment. Thank you so much, and bye for now.